from Idaho. I strive to provide interesting videos about motorcycles, fabrication, welding, electronics, machining, and general creativity. I hope you enjoy. Hello from Idaho. Well, ideally I should be working on putting all new front and rear suspension on the Jeep, but I'm procrastinating, so I've come up with another little project that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it is a steering wheel knob. And I'll put a couple of videos in right here to show you why people buy them and use them.
That's the pinnacle right there.
That's the pinnacles.
The reason people adapt a steering wheel knob is to make quick turns over a lot of range quickly. Trucks and forklifts and tractors and a lot of older vehicles had lots and lots of turns lock to lock, whereas modern vehicles, it's not very far lock to lock. You know, you've got variable ratio power steerings and whatnot that help with that. But if you're doing a long haul tractor, trailer, semi, or a farm tractor, or a forklift, or off-road vehicles where you end up going left and right a lot in a long distance, a steering wheel knob is pretty handy. And so, if you go to Amazon or you just check online for steering wheel knobs, you'll literally find hundreds of them. They're someplace between $10 and $50. Most of them are plastic molded. Some of them are acrylic. Some of them are a little bit fancier, but basically they're all pretty dang boring. The only two interesting ones I found but neither one of those are interesting to me. So I started thinking about what can I make one out of, and I found a revolver cylinder on eBay. It's for a 6-shot 38 special revolver. Probably it says unknown model when I bought it. And so it's going to, in my mind, these are live rounds, but I will not use live rounds in the final. In my mind, I think it'll make an interesting looking steering wheel knob. I will pull the bullets and then fill each case up with some WD-40, which makes the primers inert, and so they won't fire. But so it'll be totally safe. But anyway, I plan on making it out of this revolver cylinder. And so this cylinder has a little star which allows you to eject the rounds. So I'll want to retain that. I'm going to get rid of this shaft. This thing will rotate on a 1/4-inch bolt, and so it'll go in something like this. But I plan on cutting the bolt off, obviously, and then hooking the star to the end of the bolt. And so my plan is to drill and tap 440 for this little machine screw, and it will go through the star and bolt into the end of the bolt. And then I will cut off this shaft on the bottom and make it all smooth. And so we'll just have the star by itself with a hole in it, and it'll be held on with this little 440 hex head cap screw. After I get this cut off, then I will drill the center of this cylinder for a smooth fit on this 1/4-inch bolt, so it will rotate on the bolt. This thing is not going to go 100 miles an hour, so there's no need for a bearing. And then I will probably recess into this end a space for this washer and this nut, so that it will sit pretty flat on the little plate, the little piece that goes around the steering wheel. So that's the current plan. We'll see how that works out. Okay, this is me sitting in my Jeep, and here's a couple of places that might be good for a knob. I think up here feels the best. That way I push and pull mostly. Down here, I would have to push sideways with my arm. That's going to require more force, and it's got power steering, so that's probably not a big deal, but I think up here is probably more comfortable. Ideally, I'd like the bolt to be right in this little nook right here. So I'll have to build a piece that it would clamp farther up, and then have an offset for the bolt. Put the knob right here in this little corner. So I'm going to put some cardboard here and draw myself a detail around that corner there, like this. And then with my digital calipers here, I'm going to measure the width and the height. And so we have, here's my little cheat sheet. So the steering wheel is 1.180 left to right, and 1.000 top to bottom, and it needs to fit into across here and in that little corner. So I should be able to transfer that to some steel. Okay, we're back in the shop now. I've got a piece of 16 gauge here that I think I'll be able to use. Of course, here's my little cylinder. So let's do some educated guesswork here. So if this thing went across the steering, so I want to go across the steering wheel perpendicular to this this edge. So let's say we do this, and we'll make it about 3/4 of an inch wide. So we'll draw another parallel line here, and then I'd like the bolt to be about there. And it's going to be a 1/4 inch bolt. That's a 1/4 inch bolt right there. And so then the metal part can look like this. And so this piece here is what I need. And of course, this piece sticking out here will wrap around the steering wheel. So if we look at the steering wheel from an end view, from a cross-sectional view, let's say this is the steering wheel. So this piece will go like this, around the steering wheel, back up and back over, and then the bolt will go through there. That makes the knob flush with the top of the steering wheel, plus a little space. and it gives me a clamping force. And then if it looks like this on the top and the bottom, I'll be able to bolt the two together. So that's the theory. We'll have to see how well that turns out in practice. So we've cut away some of the excess. This has to remain wide because I need another one of these features down here, but it's an unknown length. So I will basically cut it out wide, form it so that it matches the steering wheel and gives me that little step function right here. And then I will build the two little bump out details into it. So that's kind of where we are right now. So that's about 1 3/16. So we'll do 1 3/16 up here. We're just going to start with a 1 3/16 inch wide strip of metal. And I'm going to make it plenty long, since I don't know how long it needs to be. Since it's about 1 inch, that means the circumference is 3.14 inches, plus a step out there and a step out there, so 5 inches ought to be enough. We'll just start with 5 inches. Okay, we got our blank here, 1 1/4 by 7. I decided I really wanted a little bit more extra. So the first thing we're going to do is put this 90-degree bend in. It'll be harder to do after I get it curled up, so I'm going to do it first. Trimmed off. That's we'll try there. So the best part about the first bend is you can't bend it the wrong way. Okay, square it up a little bit. All right. If you don't want hammer marks in your final product, well, use a piece of wood. And we want this first bend to be about 90. Okay. Here we go. Pretty square. Oh, very square. Okay. Well, that's good. Now we want this to curl up like this. So this is the inside. Okay. means, and I'm gonna bend it over a piece of 1-inch DOM tubing. It's a quarter wall, so it's going to be plenty strong. Stick it out a little ways. We will clamp it. That needs to be in, so I need to have this down. Okay. All right. You're beginning to have the shape. Okay. See if we got the right depth. All right, we've got about 3/4 of an inch to this, which gives me plenty of room to clamp. So let's go try it on the Jeep and make some marks. And we've got the part partially formed. I'm going to have to open up a little bit so that it will go around the steering wheel. And then we just force it back around. Got to have strong thumbs, apparently. Anyway, we force it back around. So here's about square with it. It's not quite square. But anyway, this piece is roughly where I want it. Close enough for me to make some marks. Okay, I flushed out the pattern a little bit. I trimmed up some of the edges, and I punched a hole in it with a hole punch. So I think I want it to go about there in real life. And so if I move it straight up on the part, then that ought to be where I should mark it. What we have after we mark it, we will cut this material away, put a hole, and then this material here will go. This material here will go away. So I marked a hole on the back, the center line of the hole on the back, so that I'll be able to get it lined up correctly. And so we're getting closer. Okay, let's cut the piece out of the big stock. Okay, now we're gonna thin it up a little bit. Okay, I cut a little bit off there on the safe side, and so it's almost time to go to the belt sounder. I got a couple more cuts I can make here. Well, the garbage truck is here, but at any rate, we've got a general shape, and one of the things the belt sander is great at is cleaning these kinds of things up. So I'm going to do the top first, then I will drill the holes, and then clamp the piece together with a spacer, and then make the bottom match the top. Okay, we'll drill a pilot hole first. We've already got it center punched. Okay, that's a good hole. Now we'll drill 1/4 inch. Actually, one size over 1/4. Which is 15 thousandths of an inch over 1/4, 64th. And this could catch and grab and rip my finger off. So we will use a pair of pliers. Nope, all was good, but I like my fingers a lot. Okay, we've got the edges cleaned up on the wire wheel and the Scotch-Brite wheel. They got one hole. And we know that that other hole is along this line. So we mark this, and then transfer it to the other side, actually. There we go. And now we move over. Let's measure this. 13/16 of an inch. And we will have the position of the other hole. So they will be right above each other. They will be right above each other when the clamp is closed on the steering wheel. Okay, now we check. Nope, the center punch needs to be moved a little bit. I don't know if you know, but you can move a center punch just by punching it again at an angle. So let's see if it's in the right place now. Yes, center punch is in the right place now. So then we can drill it. Pilot hole first. And then 17/64. Next, with a pair of pliers, okie doke. That is going to hold my knob. I haven't got this piece machined yet, but it's going to look like this. Okay, a little video of the Jeep test. It's looks like it's going to work pretty good. I still haven't trimmed the back part. I still haven't trimmed the back piece to match the front piece, but now that I've got a bolt that'll go through it, I'll put some washers in there and do that. When it's all black, it'll probably disappear pretty good, not obvious to the observer. So I'm pretty pleased so far. Okay, we went from this to this in about an hour. It still needs the edges smoothed a little bit, and a couple of coats of black paint on it, but it is ready to receive the knob. Machining the knob is next. Okay, we're on the lathe. We're going to drill a clearance hole for 440 right down the center of the star. And then we're going to part it off. So I want to put it in the chuck pretty close, but still with room enough to part it off. Okay, that ought to be room enough to part it off. Let's see how true it's running. The shaft of this star has some features in it that keep it from turning inside of the cylinder, and I can see that I've got it clamped poorly right now. Okay, now we've got it running true. So I have room enough for my parting tool. Okay, I do have clearance for a parting tool. So, setup is complete for that. Okay, I've got a small center drill here. And drop oil. I never cut part on the wall before. I know if it's a hard material, it's cutting really good right now. Alright, my 440 screw, machine screw looks like it's about 107 thousandths. So we got a clearance over there. We'll do 116 thousand. Okay, we're just touching right there. Cut really deep. And that should be all the way to that part, so I think we're done. Let's try a little cat through. Okay, we got a good clearance hole. Here we go. Now we start off flush with the back. A little parting tool. A little bit of oil. I think our clearance is good. There's the back of the part. Okay, here's some here's 240. You should be able to get pretty darn flat this way. Let's see right there. Oh, yeah, there's no perceptible lip on there anymore. And we'll be sure to clamp on these high spots here. Turns out that this is a 6-shooter, so there'll be 6 of them, so a 3-jawed chuck is going to work fine. Alright. Test spin. So there's my recess for the bolt in the washer. So like this, and then the bolt goes all the way through. Actually, it goes through this way, and it'll have its top cut off. See, I've got a little burr right there, but I'll have to do that. And it'll have its top cut off, and then in this end there will be a 440 threaded hole that the star will bolt to. And that's kind of all there is to it. Okay, the only thing left is to cut this to length. Okay, here's our first test fit. I'm sitting proud of the cylinder floor, but now I gotta take this tape off in order to try this. So here's our star and our screw. I'll paint that screw black. Actually, I've got I ordered a black oxide one just so it would be tougher. The oils in the human skin can attack things after a while. So, all right, there we go. All right, that's a nice flush fit with this pushed all the way up. So by golly, I think we've got her. Okay, I got a little errand to run, so let's take this guy for a spin and see how it works. Oh yeah, that's pretty easy. Yeah, this is going to work out great. It's just about the right position. It's easy to turn. I do a push and a pull with my arm. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Yeah. You know, a couple of notes about some of the ones you see commercially. In order to use the steering wheel normally, you don't want anything protruding past the edge of the steering wheel, and a lot of them have quite a bit of bump out there. I've also chosen a knob, in this case a revolver cylinder, that's not very big, not very tall, So I'm going to be able to use the steering wheel normally when I'm driving down the highway, or, you know, just doing straight stuff. This will be nice for backing up a trailer, for maneuvering in the outdoors when you're off road. And it's pretty easy to grip. I like it. It's pretty small. And it turns so easily, there's no real force on the hand. And one can be precise with it. It's no problem driving normally using it. Yeah, I think I like it. Getting back to the ones that you see commercially, sometimes they mount the steering wheel outside of the, they mount the knob outside of the steering wheel, which means you can't use the steering wheel normally. And some of them mounted in the center of the steering wheel, same issue, you can't use the steering wheel normally. Yeah, this is just a test ride. Of course, I need to take it off and finish this part, paint it black. I need to get my little Allen head screw painted black. And these are still live rounds. I need to pull the bullets out of them and then turn them upside down on my workbench and put some WD-40 in them. Take the bullets and the powder out. Turn them upside down, put WD-40 in them, let them sit overnight for or a day or two, and that will make the primer inert, so I can still have the look of an unfired primer, but it won't really be able to fire, so there's no safety issue there. So all in all, I'm pretty happy. So goodbye from Idaho. As usual, if you like or dislike my video, please select the appropriate button and let me know why. I really appreciate comments, and I will answer every one. If you're new to my videos, please select the subscribe and the notification bell to get more videos like this.